I'm sorry, bro. I know that you're used to seeing me through there in my bedroom, but I had to move because they're so loud. They're building right outside, and every street you go down in Vietnam, they seem to be building something. So I apologize. I've had to move. Hopefully, you can't hear the background because it's very frustrating when I'm trying to do this. And I don't want you guys to hear that. I'm trying to get you to hear me. Sorry about that. It was moving too much, this shitty stick. Cost me like £4 and I sorry about it, right. So where was I? It's a vice is something that's got an emotional control over you. Every time your guard comes down, the vice gets you. Now, that's what I noticed when it comes to alcohol. Now, this was the same for me when it comes to junk food, porn. Even though I managed to quit porn quite easily, but there was a couple times where I slipped up, and then it's even worse when you've got a missus because you admit, like I actually admitted to her once, and then I remember the vibration I had that day. It was like shame and guilt. I'll never ever, and then I was like, fuck this, never ever do it again. And honestly, if you keep your guard high with good habits, the vices are easy to keep away. So now that I'm not drinking and I'm exercising again, even though look, I'm 86 kilo right now and I'm not supposed to be, and for my whole life I haven't been. So I know what it's like to get injured and put weight on and go excessive with vices like junk food and alcohol and excessive Netflix and chilling. So that's the cause. I've put on some fat, right? But I digress. I've now managed to kick all the vices. So just don't worry if you're sitting there and you're overweight and you're worse and you're like, you've got some fat you're going to burn. You start ticking off the boxes and you start nailing these vices. It's fine. That means that you've done the hard bit. Now the easy bit is watch this weight just fall off. But let's get into today's topic, which is I've quit every vice. I've managed to get over every vice. Now, this is not your typical how to quit vices video. The biggest achievement I have had is I've not drank alcohol in 4 months. Now, you can probably tell by the accent that I come from a place up in the north somewhere that drinks a lot of alcohol. Now, if you're new here, I'm Scottish. I used to work on oil rigs and now I'm a digital nomad living in Southeast Asia with my girlfriend. We're currently in Vietnam, but the goal is to go to Thailand and I'm going to be going back into fighting basically, and I'll be in the ring soon. But for now, I'm in Vietnam. So welcome to the channel if you're new. I've managed to quit alcohol for 4 months, even though I was an extreme binge drinker and I did a couple narcotics as well. Won't go into too much details, but I did. And I've managed to get rid of all bad habits apart from coffee and scrolling on social media. Man, if you do this, just give yourself some grace for a second, because these companies are spending billions a year on making sure that you and me struggle with this vice. So this vice aside, coffee is an interesting one because caffeine has got some benefits. And apologies if sorry. I'm trying to keep this selfie stick still. This is not my usual setup, so I do apologize. But coffee is an interesting one. It's one of those drugs, caffeine, that everybody loses their fucking mind over. Oh no, I could never go without my coffee. And I'm like, you sound like an actual drug addict, a psychopath. Like a proper nutcase. Now, I'm kind of like that sometimes, but it's more of a morning ritual for me. I just love it. Now, could I beat that vice? Who knows? I bet I've beaten every other vice. So what is a vice if you're not sure? It's something, here's Cameron's magic definition for it, right? It's something that's got control over you. It's something that's got an emotional attachment over you, which for me and for many people for their whole life, after the age of 15, was alcohol. Because the social pressure, the feeling it gives you when you have a couple of drinks and you escape from your current reality. Bro, I was obsessed with doing that because it was so painful. My existence was so painful. I was just like everybody else, and I hated the way I looked. Sorry if this camera keeps moving. I'm trying my best to keep it still. I hated the way I looked, and it was just a nice feeling to just go out with the weekend and forget about it. All your hopes and dreams and stuff didn't matter because I was like everybody else. We were getting on it, and I escaped. That's all it is. It's escapism. Escapism. So back to what is a vice? It's a way for you to escape, to not think about how shit your current reality is. Drink, drugs, junk food. Because junk food increases the amount of dopamine you're getting, right? Shit food. Right, I'm waiting to sort this. I do apologise. I'm going to get a stand. Sorry, bro. I'll be back in a sec. Sorry about that, bro. Somebody was at the door, and then they were actually drilling on the side of the fucking house, and it was like, and I'm like, bro, I'm trying to teach the boys how to stop drinking and get the vices gone so they can become the best version of themselves and bounce back from injury and weight gain like I am. But apologies, I'm back. So a vice is something that's got emotional control over you. Every time you want to go and do something to improve your life that's a bit uncomfortable, the vice starts speaking to you. You've got the boss voice and the bitch voice. And the bitch voice is your vice. And it starts telling you, for example, if it's going out this weekend and you know that you've got something to do, for example, your business, or you've got a fight coming up, or you've got something that requires you not partying, the bitch voice comes and says, it'll be okay. Just go and do it anyway. Blah, 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 blah. Next thing you know, you're 3 days deep in a bender. Or you've totally sacked off the whole weekend and done no work. Just, the vice has an emotional connection power over you, okay? So your job is to detach that connection between the vice and your higher self. We're trying to get better. We're into self-development. We like fighting. We like health and fitness. So drinking is completely stupid. We know it deep down, but we still do it. Now, the first step I took was environment. I am no longer around people who think it's just cool to go out and drink at the weekends 3 nights a week, 4 nights a week, and then slip up and take other things along with drink, right? In that time. I'm no longer in that environment. So environment is probably the hardest thing to conquer. But when you've created an alcohol-free environment, you don't want to do it anymore because now we're focused on fixing our lives and getting better. Now, if you're into health and fitness and you like martial arts, what's the number one thing that's important for that? Well, it's how good you recover. And what is the number one thing that dictates your recovery? It's sleep. And what's the one thing that damages the quality of your sleep, regardless if it's even one small drop? Okay, I can't give it away there. It's alcohol. Because a lot of people would boast to me and be like, I can fall asleep after a couple beers. I'm like, yes, you can pass out because alcohol is a sedative, but it ruins your REM sleep. It actually blocks your brain from going deep into that restorative sleep process where you get REM sleep. If you look up the sleep chart, you get like light sleep, and then it goes all the way into like the deepest REM, where you get deep recovery sleep, right? You don't get that with alcohol. So you wake up groggy. How many times have you went on a night out and you woke up the next day and then you've got to take a nap later, or you're still kind of groggy? It's because you've not actually slept. And this is besides the point, but caffeine does the exact same thing. And all the caffeine drinkers, myself included, go crazy. Oh, it doesn't ruin my sleep. All the Europeans drinking coffee at 8 at night. It's crazy. It's bad for your sleep. Now I retract. Health, fitness, fighting, feeling better, looking better, performing better in all areas of life. Drink is the first step to cut off for this ultimate goal, right? But what's the first thing we need to do to weaken the connection between your higher self and the power that this vice has got over you? Well, it's environment. You first change your environment, and then you'll change your life. And then once you change your life, you'll not want to drink as much. Does that make sense? So, and by the way, if you're struggling with this, if you really are struggling with this and you want help with it, just click the link, and it should be the first link in the description somewhere. I've got a full guide. It's probably about 4 or 5 hours long. It will take you through step by step how to conquer this habit. There's a few other bonuses in there as well, like how to quit porn and how to eat healthily and how to trick your brain into liking to read and stuff like that. I've got a few bonuses for you in there as well, so just check it out. But like the main thing is changing the environment, changing what you listen to on the internet, which you've already done because you're watching me, which is fair enough, and getting really focused on your mission in life. And that's super important. Getting clear on what you want to do, because a lot of the times people drink, they're just kind of like escaping the hard questions. Why am I here? What do I really want to do with my life? And why is it that I keep trying to escape Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday night, and then repeat from every week? Why is it that I hate this job so much? Like, all these questions come up when you're sober. When you're sober and raw, and you get the suffering raw. You're faced with yourself in the mirror, completely sober, uninterrupted with alcohol, no like hazy thoughts. You're just you in the mirror, right? These thoughts come up, and you start saying, actually, why is it that I continue to self-sabotage Friday to Sunday? So when you get sober, or before you get sober, it doesn't matter if you're still doing it now, I would still advise getting a pen and paper and saying, what is my life's mission? And then 99% of times, you ask yourself this question, right? What is my life's mission? And then, does alcohol give a net benefit or a net negative to the goal that I want to achieve? Now, just for example, if it's any productivity, fitness, or health goal or performance as a fighter goal, alcohol, like we said earlier, is going to ruin the sleep. So then the answer to that question is going to be no. It's going to be a really hard no. Because you can't take two guys, you just say you take two guys that are going to be fighting. One guy drinks every night or a few times a week, one guy doesn't. You could take their sleep, you could take their brains and recovery and their body, and you know that like Whoop bands or whatever you get, and you could get the actual data and stats on your screen. You could get that, and it would be a crazy difference. Now, this might be difficult for you to comprehend because you've been around people who drink all the time, all your life, but you've got that deep, nagging feeling in here, and I get it. I did as well for so long. But please listen to these final thoughts. Change your environment, get clear on the mission, and ask yourself, does alcohol give me a net benefit or a net negative to achieve the dream outcome that you want for your life? That's it from me today, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.